People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning. I hope everybody's well and safe on this Wednesday morning. Welcome back to another edition of the Deluded podcast. I hope you're doing well and safe. Thank you very much for tuning in, especially during this close season. Thank you very much for all the support you guys have given me throughout the season and whenever you've come aboard of my projects and stuff that I'm doing. So I appreciate that. Please make sure you're following across Spotify, Apple, all of them streaming platforms. Obviously, I do YouTube, so make sure you're following on YouTube, Deluded Gooner, Deluded Gooner 187 for those of you that are on Twitch. Again, take it in. I apologize for coming to you guys later than usual with the podcast. You don't have to allow me because it's off season, you know. We don't really have to stick to the schedule. But I felt personally, I'm going to speak about what's happened last week, you know, the cup finals and that. But I just didn't feel there was enough, really. I didn't feel in my heart that I wanted to do it with so minimal things. And now with obviously England's team coming out, couple other bits and pieces, you know, Carlo Ancelotti did the dash and Everton and went to, you know, Real Madrid. You know, very few managers, whatever you say about Carlo, have finished 10th in the season and gone Real Madrid. You know, ironically, Rafa Benitez, well, that was the other way. A man went from Real Madrid to Newcastle in a matter of months. That's a bit of an L. Or Lopetegui. So we're going to have to see, man, whether Carlo's the right man or not, whether they need someone who's a good man manager or they need like more of a trainer coach, less from the Zidane ilk, because I think Carlo and Zidane are quite similar. We'll have to see. But long story short, there's a lot of things that have happened. So let's jump straight into the England stuff, people. Now, obviously, Gareth Southgate has finally named his 26-man England squad. Starboy Bukayo Saka is there. Not everybody's young player can be there. You know, certain man say certain strikers are the best young players since sliced bread. Them man, they're lying about injuries and can't get called up. Banter aside, commiserations to Greenwood, because I actually think Greenwood is needed and it's a big L. I've said it before, the Greenwoods, the Bellinghams, the Sakas, the Fodens, these sort of man are the guys you have to build your squad around and prepare them, not just for this Euros, but for the World Cup in future. I know we've got back-to-back competitions, which the World Cup next year, assuming that these young players still do their thing. Obviously, the ones that are not included are still required, but you can't underestimate how much exposure you can give them. That can make the difference next year and beyond that, really and truly, because they're the future of the football club. Manchester Football Club, the country. There'll obviously be other people, bits and pieces. There's players I would say that are just about a bit young, a bit older than these lot, who can lead as well. Obviously, I haven't said it, but Mount, you know, I wouldn't say I'm confident going into the Euros because you can't be with France and all of them sort of countries. And to be honest with you, I'm sure as English people, we're quite pessimistic in it. Like, we could have Messi, Neymar, and Suarez as our front three. We'll still find a way. Personally, I don't believe in Gareth Southgate. I don't believe in what he's doing. I like the one thing I give him is that there's a lot of togetherness in the group and things like that. And we did have a respectable tournament last time out, but I don't believe in him. I don't think he's radical enough. I don't think he sticks clear to his ideas. On one hand, I don't think I keep saying Arsenal and club. I don't think we have a system of playing. Because I don't think I see that on a football field. There's too much freestyling. But on the other hand, I do see it. Three at the back. That is England's system. We're not going to deviate too much away from that. We can go with a 4. He might go with a 4. But realistically, you know, if I'm playing 4-4-2 for the best part of the qualification phase and in the preparation, I think we got a game tonight, in the preparation for the tournament, when the tournament pops around, I'm not just going to go, you know, we've been working at 3 at the back. Let's switch it to a 4 now. I'm not going to do that, am I? If I am, fair play, there's exceptions where that could be warranted. But if I am, that's question marks. Because again, France have kind of been playing with a 4-4-2, to be fair, but you know what you're going to get with the Frenchmen. Regardless of if it's Spain, you know what you're going to get with Spain. You know what you're going to get with Italy. And, you know, even a couple of other nations that might not be on par with this, you know what you're going to get with a lot of these people. So I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of individuals. I don't think Southgate is strong enough to his principles. Like, even with Trent Alexander-Arnold, we all know that Southgate or whoever is involved in England must have been smoking a special sort of something to even contemplate Trent Alexander-Arnold not in the team. And the man walks in the team, he should be in the squad. We should be, the only thing that should have been spoken about in relation to Trent is, are we going to try him in midfield? You know, or are we going to play him at wing back? Which again, he deserves to go. Again, I'm not saying if a man loses form, he should go in that. But even when without form, he's the best fullback on the right hand side by some distance. And I'm a big fan of Reece James, who I felt should be in the squad. I like Kyle Walker, who is in the squad. Trippier's going to be a left and a right back. Obviously, Trippier's a left and a right back cover. Kyle Walker's probably a centre half. So I know a lot's been made of bringing bare fullbacks, but there's also that. And their ability to play in a couple of roles. Like you look at Reece James, he ain't going to play centre mid, but in a back three, he can play there. Centre half, he's not going to play there, but he can play there. Wing back, he can play there. Trent, you've got the option, which I don't think he's going to do it, midfield and right back. Kyle Walker, you can slap him at centre half and right back. Trippier is going to be a left and right back cover. So I agree with everyone about you don't need all these fullbacks, but I have to be fair to the coaching staff. It's not adapting realistically. So as I was saying, it's nice to see Trent's been called up and all of that talk of not calling up a man and, you know, he this and that. It's the other thing because, I'm sure Trent's had a testing season, but he's come back strong. And I really like Trent Alexander-Arnold. The man's a quality player. And as I said, with them young players, people slightly older but still young like Trent and, you know, people of that ilk, these are the players you've got to use, man. Obviously, maybe it worked for Trent. Maybe there was complacency out of his game and things. But come on now. Obviously, commiserations to the 7 unlucky players, pardon me, who missed out. Mason Greenwood's injured, and I would have liked Greenwood to go. Personally, Greenwood's on the plane for me, but he's going to have to spend it watching. Ben Godfrey again. Do I think Mings deserves to be there? Potentially not. I think Mings is a good person, a good leader. I like what he does off the field. But I think the only reason he's there is because he's left-footed. I'm sorry, but if Tyrone Mings is among... I assume if you're calling up a 26-man squad, they're 26 of the best English players, whether they're playing in the country or not, that you can source. Personally, I think that's a big shock if Tyrone Mings is seen as that. Because, again... if he isn't left-footed, I don't think he's in this squad. I barely think he's a Premier League footballer, if I'm completely honest with you. I like Mings as a person, but I think it's a mockery that he's in the lineup. But I'm not trying to make this a hate campaign. Ben Godfrey's had a better season than him. There's a couple other centre-halves that are better than him. But obviously, one thing that helps him, back three, natural left-sided left-back, which, again, is not a thing. Personally, I'll probably play Kyle Walker in part of the back three before him. Part of me thinks even sure, but I'm probably taking that too far. Probably even Reece James. So it is what it is, people. So yeah, Sam Greenwood, a man said Sam Greenwood. Shout out to Leeds is Sam Greenwood. But Mason Greenwood, Ben Godfrey, Jesse Lingard, Aaron Ramsdale, James Ward-Prowse and Ollie Watkins, as well as Ben White, have been the unlucky 7. Now Ramsdale, of course, he probably knew he wasn't going. Ward-Prowse, I think he could have afforded to go, really. I think he gives you, yes, he can take a set piece. And ironically, a lot of our iconic moments have been set pieces. If you score a set piece, someone has to deliver it. But I just think obviously Calvin Phillips is there, but I just think Ward-Prowse isn't amazing at anything. Saying that, he's clearly amazing at taking a set piece. I just feel he looks like he's got the right temperament. He gives you a solid option. He's quite conservative and quite decent with how he plays. I think Ward-Prowse should have been on the plane. I think he had a good season. I think I would have taken Ward-Prowse in it. Saying that, you know, I keep saying I would have taken this guy, that guy. You can only take 26. So I think, truthfully, Ward-Prowse is hard done by. Commiserations to Greenwood. I would have probably taken Ben Godfrey on comparison to some of these centre-halves in the squad. Ben White, good player, but probably Lewis Dunk deserved to be called up ahead of everyone. Ramsdale knew he weren't going. Ollie Watkins knew they weren't going. You know, big up to all these 7 people, because apparently they're all told they're not involved and they haven't left England camp. They're still training and whatever, doing their thing in relation to helping the boys prepare. Obviously, a lot of that is to do with, all right, cool, you know what, it's World Cup next year. Southgate might be here. I want to be back in the England squad. It's his decision. I have to accept it. Professionalism and that, and professionally, but I want to be back. Versus, all right, cool, safe then. I'm going on holiday. I can't lie, they're all better men than me because I'm going on holiday. I can't lie. The minute I'm not in that squad, safe, man. It's been a long season. COVID's messed it up. Bare games have been played safe, man. I'm going to LA, safe. Hey, where's the boys? I'm going to LA. I'm watching this from. I'm chilling, man. I'm cooling, man. Oh, mate, you don't even know how I do, but you know they're better than me and they've all got better mentality than me. So yeah, they've all been clipped, people. And things like that. So it's gonna be interesting seeing the lineup, really and truly, who's actually made the England squad and how we utilize it and things like that. I actually thought I copied and pasted the England squad, people. So 1 second, while I actually bring it up again and things. And England have released their numbers. I think Raheem Sterling's number 10, Grealish is number 7. Not that I read too much into numbers, but surely Jack Grealish plays a main proper role because again, The only person I don't have faith in is Southgate, and I want to be proven wrong because there's some tasty options you could use in that squad. You know, Trent again. I want to see man play right back. But we all know you could play him in midfield. Do I think Southgate has considered that and willing to do it? Probably not. There's different things you could do with Kyle Walker and Reece James. Grealish, Foden, Mount. Again, Mount, they can all play everywhere, innit? The other two are probably more naturals out wide than Mount. I think you kind of stifle Mount. I know he pulls into wide areas and stuff, but I like him centrally. I would like to see, obviously, there's different games in it, but I would like to see Grealish, Mount, Foden all in the same side. You know, ironically, I would like to go with a Foden in the 10, Mount in the slightly more withdrawn role, box-to-box pivot behind Foden, and then one of Henderson, of Rice, of one of these guys next to them to balance it out. Equally, there might be games where you can take that handbrake off and say, no, Declan Rice, let's play with all the ballers and things. Equally, obviously, you could go Grealish on the, as I said, Grealish on the left in that first example. You could go Grealish in the 10, Foden in the pivot, Mount in the pivot, you know, Foden on the wings, Grealish on the wings. Obviously, there's been many different options, you know, Sancho, Sterling, there's bare different things Bellingham's about. There's bare different options, things you could do, and exciting things that could be done. These are some exciting, these are good players. It's not like the England squad is crap, but I just think something's missing. I don't think the manager's got the X factor. I don't think we've quite got that togetherness. Like, you know, them Italian, man, regardless, there's going to be a fight. All them other teams, I don't think we quite have the togetherness on par with the other nations. But, you know, semi-finals, as Southgate said, will be respectable. We've got some good options. Obviously, there's Calvin Phillips, there's Bukayo Saka off the bench, there's Jadon, Sterling, you know, Grealish, all can play off the flanks. You know, I wouldn't start Rashford on current form, but you've got Rashford in and about. There's some ballers there, and for me, good footballers should play better with good footballers. Like Grealish and Mount is good anyways. Foden is good anyways. Grealish is good anyways. Saka, have to plug Arsenal, is good anyways. So when you play with other ballers, other guys that are good, you should be playing better. And could you imagine, obviously, we don't want to advocate for things off the field, but I mean, could you imagine the squad people? You know, on a night out, you've got Calvert-Lewin, you've got Grealish, you've got Mount, you've got Foden, and we all know how Foden gets down. You see him in Iceland, you know. Imagine you got Rashford, you got Sterling. Imagine the night outs, man. You got Stones there, Rice there, you know. Imagine the lads on a night out for England. It could be crazy, you know. Whoever's roommates, it could get Sancho, it could get Gazy. You know, maybe that's why you see a couple of sticklers in the squad, because I bet you Southgate's going to, one of these exciting, man, they 100%, they're getting paired with Harry Maguire, or he's probably on it himself, Connor Cody, a Deb sort of man there, really. Tyrone Mings, you know, that's probably what they're going to do. Foden should be with Grealish and Mount. It's not going to happen, man. You're going to be with the sticklers. Obviously, Walker there as well. The lads, there's banter there still. There's banter there. But looking at the squad, people, I'm scrolling down buying myself some time, people. You're looking at the squad. In goal, we have Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford and Dean Henderson. Defenders, you've got Connor Cody, Ben Chilwell, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier and Kyle Walker. Now, looking at that defence, arguably, should Cody be going? You could say maybe there's no need for Trippier. You could bring another out-and-out centre-half. You've got too many fullbacks. I say Trippier because obviously he's won the league title, but I would take Walker. I feel Shaw's form has been good. Chilwell obviously need two left backs. Reece James and Trent go for me, so I understand it. Kyle Walker also go. I understand. I'm not really angry at all the fullbacks being included, sort of thing. It's more how Southgate's utilising them, how he plans to utilise them, and how he plans to get the best out of them. In midfield, you could say it's a bit light. You know, you got Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. It feels like there's something missing in midfield. I know Foden's technically counted as an attacker now, and Grealish the same, and Sterling can play as a 10, as can Saka, but it just feels, and Sandro, it just feels like it's missing something. Like, it's nothing to do with the players. It just makes me think, could you have left one of them defenders that we've previously spoken about and bring a different midfielder? Because again, Ward-Prowse isn't exciting like that, but there's a Ward-Prowse, or maybe there was an option for a next 10 or something, because I like Jude Bellingham, box to box, you know, been 17, 18, doing his thing in Birmingham, doing what he needs to do in Germany. He's made for these moments. I don't think he's going to start though. Jordan Henderson, is he fully fit? For me, again, he's a leader. Mason Mount starts for me, if fit. Again, I say if fit because God forbid you never know what could happen. Mason Mount, someone you build the squad around, shown his quality. You know, the only thing you're hoping I don't want to say the typical English excuses, but you look at it, going into the tournament, Harry Maguire and Jordan Henderson, captains of their respective sides, how fit are they? Obviously, for Mason Mount, he plays a lot of games in the season on the best of days. There's that. You know, Phil Foden, he's been exposed to a lot of football at City, which fans say is a good thing. They say he's not playing, it's bad. Now he's playing potentially too much. Is there burnout? Bukayo Saka isn't going to play a main role in the squad, obviously, but he's had a long time for Arsenal. Raheem Sterling, again, you're seeing a bit of drop-off in form in what's been a mixed season. Rashford, where's his headspace at? So I'm reaching a bit, but again, I'm just talking about maybe the physical health of our players. But midfield, it just feels like something's lacking. Like for me, I think Declan Rice could play centre half. That would make me probably bring one less fullback, really. Like, I'm not saying Kyle Walker be dropped, but for example, Kyle Walker can play there. Declan Rice for me could play there. That could mean you don't need to bring a Connor Cody or a Mings. Probably not a Mings. So like I said, Declan Rice, Mason Mount is calm. Jordan Henderson is calm. Jude is calm. Calvin Phillips is calm. It just feels like missing a something there. Like, obviously, when you look at the eights of all the other teams, the man there got Barella, got Verratti. If it's not an 8, it's a 6. These guys, you know, you look at the midfield, Spain are always going to have them. France, again, unfair how many they've got. It's nothing really to do with England, because I think Henderson's... I rate all of them. It just feels like we're missing something in comparison to the other nation. It just feels like we're missing that special controller in the midfield, which obviously, like I said, we've got ballers. Up front, again, some man that can play in other roles are being counted as attackers. You've got Bukayo Saka. For me, his form and his season deserves a look on the plane. Not going to play a main role, but he can play. He's shown he can play left, right, 10, centre mid, left back, right back. He gives you a lot of options, and you've got that youthful naivety off the bench, which are why I wanted Greenwood involved as well. So you've got Bukayo Saka, you've got Jack Grealish, who for me, I can't lie to you, man. Shout out to Foden. Shout out to Mount, because they've shown they can lead. You know, Mount's a big reason as to, again, he can't do it alone. But you look at the games for me against Real Madrid, and obviously in the final, he really showed his quality in the Champions League. Grealish has been pulling along Aston Villa for a while, and it might not have been literally the last one, but I'm sure Grealish, in the build-up to this tournament, he's pulled England along in certain games, and Southgate didn't even want to release the shackles of Jack Grealish once upon a time, and now you're seeing it. For me, I think Jack Grealish is the leader. I just feel, no disrespect to the other ones, but he's got the attitude with it. He's got the swagger. He's on this. It's not that the other one, it's not that anyone else isn't, but he's just, for me, it's Jack Grealish has to lead this England team, and not saying by captain, just he wants to be part of the bowling thing. And obviously there's talk of going to City and that. This is your tournament. For me, I'm hoping to see Jack Grealish lead it. I'm hoping to see Mason Mount shut up all his critics. And this is actually like the creme de la creme now. This is afters, your season is the main starters and the Mills and that. You've won the Champions League. This is you, innit? This is your country now. You should be coming into this full of confidence, ready to lead. Phil Foden, you're a golden boy, but now you're a golden boy playing week in, week out. Can you lead it for us? Declan Rice, you've had a fantastic season. Can you set levels? Jordan Henderson, I'm going to need your mentality in this squad. Trent, you've showed good mental strength, shutting up critics and getting called up. I'm going to need to see more of that. Do you get it? John Stones, you've got character. Maguire, you've got character. I'm going to need to see it from everybody in abundance, people. Because we should relish. There's no expectation on England, realistically. And somehow they're going to disappoint. Anything less than the semi-finals is terrible, people, in my humble opinion. When you look at the squad numbers as well, people, not to read anything into it, but Pickford's first choice, clearly, he's number 1. You've got Kyle Walker 2. I'm going to just do it in order, people. You lot can count so you can put maths together. I'm not going to keep going, this guy 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do it from numerical order. Pickford is in goal number 1. Then you've got Walker, Shaw, Rice, Stones, Maguire, Grealish 7, Henderson 8. Kane is obviously going to get the 9. I did think Sterling would swap with Grealish. I know Grealish probably wants to be the 7, and I'm looking at him or Mount or Foden to be the Gaza of this tournament, but for anything. But I would have thought Grealish 10, Sterling 7. But Sterling's got the 10, Rashford 11, 12 Trippier, Henderson, Phillips, Mings, Cody, Sancho, Calvert-Lewin, Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Ben Chilwell, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Sam Johnson, Reece James, Bukayo Saka, and finally Jude Bellingham. So that's our number 1s to 26, starting with Pickford, ending with Jude Bellingham. So we'll have to see. We've got a tournament. A man said we've got a tournament. We've got a tournament in a week or so to commence, but I think we've actually got a couple of friendlies to play in way before that. So yeah, man, it is what it is in that regard. So yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a really interesting one. And we're going to have to see. Sorry, people. Don't know why don't know why someone would email me that early in the morning. I mean, I clearly said I cannot deal with that today. I did not want a client meeting today, but we keep moving, people. So that's England, innit? That's England. Southgate said anything less than the semi-finals is an L, really and truly, and he has said expectations were lower in Russia. We've got some really exciting players. We've been having exciting players, and no disrespect to you, Southgate, I'm allowed my opinion. I actually like how you've pulled this nation together, and you seem a good manager. But for me, Greenwood isn't involved, but it's all good having next generation Greenwood, Foden, Mount, Grealish, Rice, Saka. You know, couple man are not involved. Hudson-Odoi, Curtis Jones, all of these players on the cusp, and players that I haven't said that will come about within now to the next year. Bellingham in the squad as well. It's all fun having these guys. If you've got a conservative manager, it's bullshit, pardon my language, because you're not going to get the best out of them. You need someone who's forward thinking and brave and daring, and there's many different ways of playing the three at the back. I've got nothing wrong with playing three at the back. I just know we're going to have some disjointed conservative bullcrap where it's going to look like a bunch of individuals. Personally, that's my problem. But it is what it is. Personally, I think if we do not get to the semi-final minimum, I don't think Southgate should be leading this country going into the World Cup. Who takes the job, I don't know, but I don't see enough really. I'm confident in our lads and the form and that, and I'm confident in the players, and I'm always going to support the team, you know, and support the man out there. But when you get beneath that and the blind optimism and the buzzing because it's a tournament, from a tactical point of view, I'm very nervous with this game, people. But as he said, expectations were lower in Russia. We've got some really exciting players, and I don't think these players are at their peak by any means. They're not. And I think when I look at some of the players working with us, it's so exciting for England's future. Obviously, you've got a couple that haven't got called up as well. I've got to try to manage the expectations of the players. I accept the situation as a manager. There's expectation and I have to deliver. We have to deliver as a group of staff. It's not about me in terms of if we can be successful, but of course it's about if we fail, no problem, that's the gig. And again, I have concerns over the coaching staff because you look at it, it just seems like the old boys network. Certain managers there not on merit just because they've got a good contact list. But for the players, I've still got to bear in mind they're a young group. They still have got a lot of progression to make. Some are now learning how to win things, being involved in big matches. It's brilliant for their progress and opportunities for England. That's all we want, which is fact. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, people. I know it happened almost a week ago, people, but we have to circle back over the Champions League. Congratulations to Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel. They defeated Manchester City 1-0, courtesy of a Kai Havertz goal. Congratulations to Thomas Tuchel and Thiago Silva for me, especially because they lost it a year from then. Congratulations to Mendy and Kante. You look at their stories, you know, just being footballers is miracles, let alone for Kante winning all top honours and for Mendy winning top honours as well. For me, Pep Guardiola did overthink. You know, you've got Gundogan in the 6. When he's been scoring a lot of goals, I did think it didn't work. To not play Fernandinho in a game you need character was telling. That goal between Stones, Diaz, Zinchenko, who found it tough, absolutely appalling. You know, City look like they need a bit of a couple players, in my opinion. I can't really say that because they won the Premier League, but it looks like there's no plan B. Obviously, I felt sorry for Kevin De Bruyne, and obviously slightly before that, Thiago Silva. Both were robbed of the opportunity of completing the whole 90 minutes. But yeah, man, I feel, you know, City were dangerous on the counter-attack. City started off the stronger side. Chelsea struggled to get out their half. But after Chelsea rid their luck, realised they're in for a game and that they can win it, you saw why Thomas Tuchel is now beating him 3 times in a spin. First and foremost, Chelsea took their chances. But then I think Chelsea started to create chances of their own. Obviously, Werner missed a golden chance. There was a couple of other half chances. Apart from the first 10 minutes where I think Chelsea was second fiddle and couldn't get out their half, they did what they needed to do. City had no answers. Again, it was quite a toothless performance in the front regards, people, in my opinion. What a time for Havertz to get his first goal in 12 games, really. So, yeah, man, I think it's a great platform for Chelsea to build. There's talk of Thiago Silva and Thomas Tuchel grabbing new deals. For City, there's talk of a bunch of players leaving. I'm sure you've all saw Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Gundogan considering future, Mahrez, Sterling. Bare couple of players are considering, allegedly. And apparently they want Grealish and Kane. Now, I think Pep Guardiola overthought. I thought you should have just... I don't think you could have got the midfield battle wrong. And I don't like to do ifs and buts, but you look at the positioning of several players, yeah? Fernandinho plays out, maybe even Rodri, but I think if Fernandinho plays, he reads that situation that Kai Havertz ran onto. I think he reads it, or he at least buys a bit of time, and maybe that goal doesn't happen. For City, I think City just need... They've been buying players. They just need a couple more elite talents for me to pull them through in situations like that. Like, they want Grealish and Kane to go with what they've got. That could be a madness. For Pep, it's an L, because it was a chance to shut up a lot of critics that say he can't win it without Messi, he can't do this and that. And obviously, it was a chance to deliver in a competition people say you overcomplicate, and a chance to deliver in a competition where I was never there, but I don't care what no one tells me. Pep wasn't brought there to win the Premier League. That was just a standard business as usual. You're going to win that. We're here for the champs. And they're going to have to go hard to win it, because you're never going to have a better chance. Very rarely do you see the back-to-back final thing. I know Liverpool did it, and by default Real Madrid have done it, but you rarely see it. So we're going to have to see. But in that game, I felt Reece James everyone was quality, but Reece James pocketed Sterling. Sterling huffed and puffed at points, but he pocketed him. Kante, Ballon d'Or winner without a doubt. Obviously, he's never going to win it. It goes towards the more attacking players, the people that people pay to watch. No disrespect to Kante, but the agenda is strong. There's no reason Kante shouldn't win it. They said he was finished. If Kante's finished, I want to be finished. And it's the same school of thought where, that said Kane and Salah are one-season wonders again. Where are these players again? Kante, again, they said he was finished. They said he was past it. Literally, forgive me if I'm wrong, but in the last 3 games, including this final, in the latter stages of the Champions League, who's been the best player on the pitch? Yeah, he ain't scored the goal or been involved in any controversy or any talking points, but he's swept up. Kante, an absolute legend, to put it nicely, man. And, I'm sure he's hungry to bring home the Euros and all of those sort of things, people. So, yeah, man. It's interesting to see what will happen, people. Pep Guardiola, he said he made the right decisions for the final. He said he done what I thought had the best chances of winning, and I don't think he did. I think he overcomplicated things. Maybe a bit of naivety, but we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see, and there will be a rebuild, man. Obviously, and shout out to Rudiger because he had a good performance. But Rudiger and Kevin De Bruyne were involved in some sort of tangle which resulted in Kevin being injured, and he actually has revealed he suffered a fractured nose and left orbital following his collision with Antonio Rudiger, people. So we're going to have to see. We never advocate racial abuse. Raheem Sterling and Kyle Walker are on the receiving end of social media racial abuse after this defeat. Pulisic has become the first American to play in and win a Champions League final. So that's a bit of history. As you lot know, Thomas Tuchel expects to sign a new deal at Chelsea after a first Abramovich meeting in which he said, I'm not even 100% sure, but maybe I've already signed a new contract with that win. Not short on confidence. My manager said something about it. I do not know, but let's check first. I spoke to the owner right now on the pitch, which was the best moment for a first meeting. All the worse from now on, it can only get worse. We'll speak tomorrow, we'll speak later, but I'm looking forward to this. And again, business as usual. One thing I rate about Chelsea, they're not a sentiment club. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel, he's won their second European title. He's going to go down in history like with the players. It is history, but that's all it is for Chelsea, Why I like Chelsea, as much as I can say that about rivals, they're sitting there and saying, you know what, it's good. We've taken the pictures, we've popped the champagne, but it don't mean nothing tomorrow. I want to win it again. You've even heard Roman Abramovich, he wants to win this thing again. If he wins it again, Chelsea got 3. That's there with United, a team who, like Arsenal have been failing in it. United have underachieved in Europe. Again, to have the same amount of Champions Leagues as you, as Man United, I believe Man United got 3. They might have 4, but 3 in my lifetime is always what I'll go with. You could go with that. And Thomas Tuchel, he can't rest on his laurels. Next season, if you're fucking about in the league and you're moving iffy in Europe, you know, they're not going to say, well, you won Champions League, you got top 4, you got FA Cup finalists. No, gone. It's simple as that. Whether you like the hire and fire process or whatever, you have to admire the fact that Chelsea do not rely on their laurels. They always seek excellence. They don't rely on man to rely on past glories. And they're always trying to push themselves. You heard it there. Now, if that's Arsenal, I'm sitting here and going, well, Kroenke hasn't spoke to Thomas Tuchel before. Kroenke hasn't spoke to Arteta before. What's all that? He just said that was the first time he's spoken to Roman. You don't need to speak to man when you're serious. You know, Roman's got people at the club moving serious. You know, Marina and Czech and all these people who brought in Thomas Tuchel, they're demanding excellence. In the same way, you know, they're expecting a lot from all the players and they're going to build upon this. You can see them, I don't know who, but they're going to buy other players, really. And you can see what it meant to the owner as well. And again, when you want to be a winner, things fall into place. Chelsea are going to rebuild because, again, one thing I've already said it before, with Thomas Tuchel, you don't know what he wants to do. That's why I rate him. I don't know if this 3 at the back thing is going to be a long-lasting thing. Some of the players he's using, I don't know if they're going to be long-termers. They might be, the formation might be, but he took over at the halfway point of the season with the objectives at the time to just put respect more on Chelsea and qualify for the Champions League. Everything else, you know, looked a bit more rosier and has been a bit more rosier. But my point is, is he doing a lot of things through necessity or are they designed? Now, he might rub out certain players. Obviously, on the face of it, it looks like Giroud, what a way to go, but it looks like Giroud's days are numbered, you know. I'm pretty sure they'll go for a left back. I know Alonso's got a new lease of life, but I don't know where he looks with Chilwell. Emerson looks good. I think that's an area to watch. Will he want another midfielder? I don't know. Chelsea clearly need a striker who scores goals. You know, that's the one thing they can't do. There's a lot of question marks. Tammy Abraham looks like he's leaving as well, aiding to that. Werner looks like, I don't know what I'll go on for Werner. So I'm keen to see what he does next season, how they reinvent, because even way before the Champions League final or even got to the semis, Thomas Tuchel said next season they're challenging for the league or we're trying to push City. You already know the mandate, so he already knows what's going on, and one can only thrive when there's a healthy amount of pressure, I feel, anyways, people. He also said, I can assure him that I will stay, in relation to, skipping ahead a bit, in relation to Roman Abramovich, I can assure him that I will stay hungry, that I want the next title, and I feel absolutely happy as part of a really ambitious club and a strong part of a really strong group that suits my belief and suits my passion about football at the moment perfectly. My desire is to go for more victories and my desire is to grow as a coach. My desire is to push the group from the first day of the season to the limit. We have work to do. We have to close the gap. This is all I'm about. So it'd be nice to meet him a bit closer. We're in constant contact, but not personal. He knows what's going on for me directly, but now it's nice to meet him. To share it with everybody is incredible. I don't know what to feel. I was so grateful to arrive a second time in the final. I feel different. We were somehow, you could feel it getting closer. The boys were determined to win this. We wanted to be a stone in their shoe. We encouraged everybody to step up and step out, be brave and create dangerous counterattacks. And that's what you saw. And for me, Thomas Tuchel has Pep Guardiola's number. Again, I'm sure there's a bunch of things, but for me, the one theme I've seen is off the ball. You know, it seems very simple. It's like, we'll just limit the space. Granted, in the final, there was more space than there's ever been. But they said, we'll just limit the space. You lot will pass around, get frustrated, but you won't get through us. And I think he's found the way there. So, yeah, shout out to Chelsea for winning the final. Obviously, I'm sure we spoke about Manchester United. I'm sure we spoke about the Europa League final before on another podcast, but I can't remember. But credit to Villarreal. United were terrible, to put it nicely. First half was terrible. Bruno Fernandes anonymous. You know, Pogba limited. You know, Mason Greenwood shafted on the right-hand side. Individual mistakes. Bottling penalties. Again, just terrible, really and truly. Just not how you arrive in the final, but I'm pretty sure we spoke about the Europa League final prior, people. Looking back to the Premier League, congratulations to Brentford after they defeated Swansea. They keep hold of Ivan Toney, and now there'll be another London club in the Premier League, and they join, or the three that are returning to the Premier League, or coming to the Premier League. You've got Brentford, you've got Watford, you've got Norwich. So there's more London derbies for the London clubs, people. You've got Brentford, Norwich and Watford, as I said. Again, backs are going to be against the wall for all of them to stay in the division, really and truly. But we'll have to see, really. You know, it was a good playoff final. Ivan Toney hasn't scored from outside the area all season and almost scored a belter in that game. It had a red card, it had controversy. Shout out to Morecambe as well, who are now in League 2 after beating Newport after extra time. Shout out to Blackpool, who got promoted from League 1 into the Championship. Shout out to Daniel Ballard and Arsenal loanee. If you're interested in the Copa America, apparently it's been moved for a third time. It was in Colombia first, Argentina second, and now it's going to take place in Brazil. That's due to, like Colombia, Argentina has suffered somewhat a COVID outbreak allegedly, so that's that in that regards. I'm sure if you're an Arsenal fan, you hate away goals. I did see there's rumours that they're looking to get rid of away goals. People, they're looking to get rid of the away goals ruling. I haven't actually got the article there, but apparently they're looking to get rid of the away goals, and it's just going to be down to a vote, people. I wouldn't be for away goals, people, because again, when you get through with it, it's great, but it's BS, really and truly. 1 goal shouldn't count for 10 and all of these sort of things, people. It doesn't make sense. While I haven't actually got the article up here, I've just typed it on Google just to give you a lot of back sort of story, people. An advert is going to try and play. UEFA decides to scrap away goals in European competitions after 56 years amid calls to review the outdated rule. People are talking about it makes the game more exciting, and no, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It makes it sound BS, people. Absolutely BS. But apparently they've opted to. See, like I said, they're trying to get at it. Apparently UEFA had a meeting on Friday, and apparently a UEFA committee has decided to abolish it, people. Now all that's needed is an executive committee is now needed to approve the move. When that happens, I'm not too sure because the article hasn't been specific on that, people. So yeah, I wouldn't want. I think away as an Arsenal fan, we've started games crap and been gone out of competitions on away goals. So I'm all for that going, really and truly. Like 1 goal shouldn't count for 2 because you've scored it away from home. Obviously, I get why it was introduced. It implored teams to go for it a bit more, but again, certain things don't last the test of time, and it's an outdated rule. It just needs to go. It's as simple as that, really and truly. Staying with competition rules, apparently competition organisers will now have the option of allowing teams to continue using up to 5 substitutes until the end of 2022. IFAB confirmed on Friday, people. So we'll have to see, people. That could mean football lawmaking bodies could implement these changes literally until December the 31st next year, 2022. As I said, people, as well, if you've been anywhere, Carlo Ancelotti has returned to Real Madrid, people. He is now their manager. Real Madrid have paid Everton some compensation, and he returns to the club. He signed a 3-year deal and brings an end to his 18-month stay at Everton. So again, it looked like Everton had a great project with a manager. It looks like it's been clipped. As much as I like Carlo Ancelotti and I think he deserves it and he's a good manager, I mean, just based on merit, he finished 10th. Is it the best? I don't know. Carlo could be good, at a time where people will listen because it's Carlo. Like I said, he's a good manager. I think they need more of a hands-on sort of coach, this more than anything, because it looks like they need to build a squad again. But fair play, they know more than me. I'm pretty sure that means Odegaard's days may be numbered. We remember his comments on Odegaard a few years ago. Who knows? It might mean a new lease of life for some players. It might mean some players need to go, people. For Real Madrid, I'm sure they're hoping it works, though, because because they're going to need it, really and truly. For Everton, it's a bit mad, people, because they're searching for their 6th permanent manager in 5 years. So it is what it is. And Carlo Ancelotti said it was an unexpected opportunity. He said, I have complete respect for everyone associated with Everton and hope they can achieve the exciting opportunities they have in front of them. While I've enjoyed being at Everton, I've been presented with an unexpected opportunity, which I believe is the right move for me and my family at this time. It's Real Madrid. You can't turn them down. Everton 10th. Real Madrid 3rd, 2nd, whatever, but it's Real Madrid and it is what it is. The deal's done. Can't blame him. Speaking of managers, people, allegedly Nuno Espirito Santo, who looked favourite to be going Spurs and shocked everyone when he left Wolves. This is what makes me believe there was more to it. It weren't just Wolves and him felt that, we've come to an end of our cycle. I think he was all but sacked then because apparently he remains the favourite to become Crystal Palace boss. With respect to Crystal Palace, I can't lie, I'd rather be at Wolves than Palace. They seem to have more ambition of doing more than just existing in the Premier League. Zaha is a quality player, but looking at the squads, Wolves have way better players, way better squad of players. And like I said, they're way more forward thinking in what they're doing and the players they're bringing in. Palace, you just get the vibe that you're just happy to be in the Premier League. Things can change. So for Nuno to go there, it must have been a sacking in all but name, people. Apparently, for what it's worth, he's in talks to become Palace gaffer, replacing Roy Hodgson. He's keen on an immediate return to management and feels he has a point to prove after he was sacked at the Molineux just over a week ago. So make of that what you will. If you're interested in Bayern Munich, apparently Karl-Heinz Rummenigge is stepping down as Bayern Munich chairman, 6 months earlier than anticipated. He's brought through his departure to the 30th of June. Oliver Kahn will take over from him, people. And my man's been on the Bayern Munich board for almost 30 years. Real Madrid have also signed a Bayern Munich player. They've completed the free transfer of David Alaba on a free contract, which again, David Alaba, I swear he must have been there when Carlo was at Bayern Munich, so could be a link up there. And Alaba's going to earn a cool 10.5 million per year following the end of his contract at Bayern Munich. Obviously, Jadon Sancho's playing in the Euros, but apparently Manchester United remain in talks with Jadon Sancho's representatives over a potential transfer this summer. Sky Sports apparently have been told that United represents the most realistic option for Jadon. Personal terms are not expected to be a problem. United negotiated terms when they tried to sign Sancho last year. Dortmund are prepared to listen for offers, but have not set a public price or a deadline. They're apparently willing to deal at 80 million, which is a bit of a discount from the 108 or so they wanted last year. Allegri has been reappointed Juventus boss following the sacking of Pirlo. Barcelona, as you've seen, have completed the signing of Eric Garcia and Sergio Aguero, and you can imagine Memphis Depay and Giorgio Ronaldo are going to be completed as well. And they're also bringing back that right back Emerson Royal, so make of that what you will. Be confident in Sergio Aguero, Emerson Garcia, and Sergio Aguero. I'd say Garcia, Jorginho, Sergio Aguero. I'd be happy with their free transfers. You know, Wijnaldum could be a bit hit and miss for Barca. I'd back his ability. Depay, we'll see in it. We'll have to see. Also in other news, people, as you've seen, Glenn Murray has retired from football, people, the former Brighton and Crystal Palace forward. So shout out to Glenn Murray. You know, it is what it is. In terms of that, people, there isn't anything else to really speak about. We've been here for 40 odd minutes. We've covered the Champions League. We've spoken on the Euros. We've spoken on general footballing points. So I hope you've all enjoyed this 40 odd minutes. Please make sure you're supporting on Spotify, on Apple. Obviously, make sure you're following me on YouTube, as I've stated, Deluded Gooner 04 on all social medias, Twitter, all of that sort of stuff. Twitch is Deluded Gooner 187. Deluded Gooner on YouTube. Again, just support the movement. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me so far, and I'm going to have to love and leave you. I'll catch you lot later, people. On that note, people, thank you for listening. I'm out.